Hello, everybody. I was gonna make the almost Christmas joke, but this video is coming out on Christmas. So, Merry Christmas and to a jolly New Year. And my present to you, dear viewers, is episode 18 of Contempt of Court. It's 18. Yeah, it's 18. You might see that Phoenix got a Santa hat, but you know, who really cares? April 11, 9:52 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 1. Also, if you don't celebrate Christmas, then happy break, I guess.
Happy holidays, bro.
What holidays are they having instead of Christmas? I don't know.
Chat, is this cultural ignorance?
You should stop making narrow-minded cultural assumptions, Nick.
You're the one making the assumptions!
Morning, Phoenix. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed today. Sorry? Feeling alright this morning? Yeah. Anyway, tired, weary, or any other form of fatigue which might hamper concentration? I'm fine, detective, thank you. Good. So how did last night's interrogation go? Vulper get any more info on the murder? That's where I'll have to do this conversation. You see, I'll be giving testimony about how the interrogation went in today's trial. But between you and me, I'll give it a small teaser for what's to come. Absolutely nothing! Waste of time! Useless! Gee, I wonder if it went well at all. To be honest, I think you're a spot of luck today. Spot of luck? How do you mean? This murder doesn't seem overly complicated at all at first glance. Maybe it's possible that it really is as straightforward as it seems. I was thinking that myself. And then I realized this is an aceattorney game and there's no way it's that simple.
Bro.
This case doesn't seem open and shut compared to many others. Wait, where's Detective Snow today? He's not directly tied to this particular case, he's still in detention. Besides, he's your client for Barry Dog's murder, not the Maplethorn one. But he said that he'd be testifying today. He and the other victim on the body, after all. I'll be off. Back to the prosecutor's lobby now. What? Hello? Effectively ran out of the room. It was a really awkward conversation. Alright, it's time for Vulper's trial to begin. Will he be found guilty straight away? Or is there a bigger picture to this crime? From experience, I'd probably say the latter, but I'm not holding my breath. April 11, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 1. Hey, G. Hey, Brisbane.
Oh god, okay, I got my water, hold on.
Court is now in session for the trial of Vex Vulper. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very good, Mr. Brisbane. Is the prosecution ready?
Well, this certainly puts me quite in a predicament. I came back to this courtroom with intent to face Mr. Wrong once again, after all. He bested me twice in court already!
I think that's a skill issue, I'm not
That's
gonna lie.
That's a skill issue. I was gonna say, that's a skill issue.
But something interesting was brought to my attention. The suspect would be none other than Vex Vulper. I can't even say his name without invoking a gag reflex.
Me too, bro.
So now I have to make a. Now I have a choice to make.
Oh my god! Oh man.
Bro.
Help Mr. Wrong and take down that freak. Or stay true to my intent to defeat Mr. Wrong in court.
I mean, I feel like one's more justifiable than the other, but I'm just saying.
Yep.
Oh, and Mr. Wrong?
You said Mr. Wrong far too many times for my liking. Yes?
You better not be defending that evil little rat!
Listen, man, I came here to defend Robert Snow, not fucking Satan on Earth. Mr. Brisbane, the circumstances surrounding this trial has been made clear to you already. I suppose I should repeat this for the benefit of the court, however. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I'm gonna put some banging music in the background. Today's trial is indeed a peculiar one, as the prosecution has stated. As a known criminal who is already serving a life sentence for the murders of 3 people, I believe Vex Vulper needs no introduction. He has been accused by the police of murdering another recent inmate in his neighboring cell. Because of his disreputable standing, Mr. Vulper has failed to obtain a lawyer to represent him today. Under normal circumstances, the trial would not have commenced until he had an attorney. The thing is, his past convictions already have him serving a life sentence in prison. We have decided to make an exception. Mr. Wright is not here to defend, but rather to find the truth. Today, the prosecution, the prosecution,
The prosecution
and defense all work together to determine whether or not Mr. Vulper is guilty of the crime of which we are aware. Are we now clear, Mr. Brisbane?
Prosection. The dissection of a cadaver or part of a cadaver by an experienced autonomist in order to demonstrate for students anatomic
it's a prosection
structure.
badge.
Fine, I'll do it. But don't think this is over between us, Mr. Wrong. I will crush you when I get the chance.
Is that really all he cares about? Defeating me? And for what?
But I suppose the prosecution was ready also, Your Honor.
No, the prosection. Very well. They have an opening
Ladies and gentlemen, the man on trial today is a renowned mass murderer. I speak for everyone when I say that he has more than proven himself to be so. Therefore, there could be no doubt that he is clearly the perpetrator of this crime.
Like, I know I'm the defense attorney and I'm gonna somehow get a not guilty. But, like, I don't understand what the fuck could else have happened other than Vulper murdering him.
Hear me out!
What do you mean, hear me out? Can you explain to me who could have possibly killed him other than Vulper?
Good point! Alright, trial over!
Like, this is even more open and shut than the Turnabout Called Justice case.
Oh my god. I hate that. I'm not gonna lie, the more I think about the case, the more I hate it. I'm not gonna lie.
That guy must have done it. I remember that cause post trial. I knew that I don't quit again. Order in the court. Also, what do you mean you hate the case?
Who invited him
what?
again?
What do you mean you hate
Why
the
is it the
case?
same guy?
Wait, why do you hate the case?
No, it's like the more I think about it, the more infuriated I get, because it's like we were arguing about the same point for like 3 episodes.
Okay, to be fair, they were like, we were just going in corners until we got to like an actual good revelation.
True.
Which, considering the circumstances, you can't really blame the writing.
True.
While I agree that the prosecution's reasoning is understandable, the results of the crime scene must be addressed in order to reach a just conclusion. Just conclusion, my eye.
Ah! Just conclusion, my eye!
I like that actually.
Now then, do we have any witnesses to bring to the stand?
There wasn't a witness who saw the crime happen, so I will call the detective in charge of the investigations.
Oh, wait.
Of course.
Are you gonna bring us Investigation 3?
Okay, I'll be right back.
Ernest Smith, that guy's overtly casual behavior was bugging me quite a bit yesterday. Very well. The court calls the detective to the stand!
Come now, let's move this along quickly. Name an occupation. Hey! Stop that noise! It hurts my ears!
Hey, Michael! Vsauce here!
My god.
I know I said that backwards!
Oh my god.
Hey, Vsauce! Michael here!
Micro?
I said Michael! Micro here! Hey, hey, Vsauce! Micro here!
I love Vsauce, such a great guy.
Great guy. I said name an occupation.
Ernest Smith, homicide detective.
So it is. Long time no see, Renwick.
Oh, they know each other.
Too long, Arrow. Too long. Huh? These two know each other? Now then,
You investigated the crime scene that morning.
that morning.
Nah.
Took his nose the first stumble upon the scene half an hour after the murder occurred. But as you know, he's in custody under the suspicion of murdering that officer, so the responsibility was passed down to me.
Very well, why don't you begin by telling us about the crime itself?
That sounds like a good place to start. Detective, if you please. I have reason to believe that Vex Vulper murdered a prisoner. Another prisoner, I mean. Guy within the neighboring cell. Marble Flower or something similar. Hold on, detective. I'm sure I've seen that young man's face before somewhere. Young
That
man?
was like...
Just what is young according to the judge?
That was like last week, bro.
Caesar Mablethorn, Your Honor. He was found guilty of a murder not so long ago. Why, of course! Wait a minute. He was murdered?! He was strangled from behind with a piece of wire. When the body was discovered, Vex Vulper was placed under arrest as a suspect. Why, I think I have it. I believe I'm ready to hand out my photo.
Yes, please.
The one who said that we needed to trust the investigation first?
Nah.
Excuse me, I was getting carried away there for a moment.
Nah, right now. Don't stall, right now.
I highly doubt that Vulper could have gotten away with a more complicated crime, seeing as he's been in prison for almost a month. About Thorne's murder? What the fuck? Music change!
Do the sneeze? Let's go!
Autopsy states that the murder happened around 1:30 a.m. We were alerted about an hour later. Cedric Mapleton is dead, slumped against the wall, separating his cell from Vulper's. As you can see in this photo, he was strangled with a piece of garage wire. The same piece of wire we found wrapped around one of the bars. The body was close to the bars, so Vulper could have easily reached through with the wire. Motive? He's a deranged psychopath with an already apparent murder record. A very informative testimony. Thank you, Detective Smith. Oh, and if I may, I'd like to submit this. What's this? The floor plan of the crime scene, Your Honor. Positions of the killer and the victim were placed based on the evidence of the crime. Oh, I see. Very well. The court accepts this into evidence. Floor plans of cells 5 and 6 added to the court record. Is the defense ready to begin the cross-it?
The cross-it?
Why is Vulper's... yeah, because of all the cards. Nomination? Yes, Your Honor. Since I'm not defending Vulper, any contradictions I find could either help or hinder him. Let's see what this cross-examination uncovers. The murder happened around 1:30. Was that the exact time of the victim's death? Not exactly, it was only a guess made by the coroner. My guess, on the other hand, would have said give or take 20 minutes or so. But who am I to argue with medical science? I see. So when did the police discover the body? If by police you mean Snow and Dogs, it was roughly 2 a.m. If by police you mean me, on the other hand, earlier about an hour later. Who informed the police? When we had Snow in interrogation, he told us all about it. He said to check out Maplethorne's cell if we didn't believe him. We believe him now. And what did you see once you reached the cell? And his dad slumped against the bar, separating himself from Vulper's. Hold it! That's the way his body was found? Yeah, and it pretty much sets up the murder as being pointed towards Vulper. Really? Could you elaborate on that, Detective? I can, and I most certainly will. Take a look at this. Photograph! As you can see in this photo, he was strangled with a piece of garage wire. And this is evident by the deep red mark around the victim's neck, correct? I'm going to say yes. Oh good, I had that answer too! As you can see, the wire cut into his neck quite a bit, drawing blood. The victim's blood is also on this wire. The same piece of wire we found wrapped around one of the bars. That's where you found the murder weapon. Sounds kind of strange to me. Strange was right. Don't get me wrong, I'm not jumping to Vulper's defense here. But if he was the one who used this wire to strangle Maplethorne, why would he leave it between the bars in plain sight? Don't you find it strange that he would leave the weapon out in the open? And in his own cell, no less?
He could have hidden the wire somewhere more secretive.
But he's fucking stupid!
But I wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference.
How so, Mr. Brisbane?
Vulper could have hidden the wire in the most elusive place in his cell. But eventually the police would have found it.
Not if he swallowed it.
Nah, he'd be fine still.
So in other words, where the wire was found doesn't change Vulper's guilt.
He has a point, but... Isn't there some way for Vulper to dispose of the wire after using it?
That's not the point.
No, okay.
But to answer your question, there was no way he could have done that.
I'm also not trying to jump to his defense. I'm trying to see if there was a way. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
He could have put it in the sink, couldn't he?
I beg your pardon?
He could have put the wire in the sink.
In the sink? That would have worked.
But-
I guess... Could be under his mattress, maybe? I don't know.
Wait,
A lot of places.
why wouldn't the sink work?
No, it would. I'm just wondering. Like, what
Okay.
else?
Think about it! He was in a confined cell. Where on earth could he have gotten rid of it?
What about the window? Come on, Phoenix, you can do better than that.
You know how many other places there can be?
There's a barred window in his cell. You could have easily thrown the wire through the window to get rid of it.
Do you think the police are that stupid?
Yes, actually.
They'd have checked the ground outside the window if that were the case. Throwing a weapon out the window doesn't exactly hide it, does it?
That depends where the window is. I know of a way! I'm not quite sure I'm seeing the point of this, Mr. Wright. The argument is that if Mr. Vulper had a way to dispose of this wire, he would have done so, correct? Yes, Your Honor. But it's just logic, really. Logic.
Logic!
I want to agree with you, Mr. Wright, but I have to be sure. Was there a way that you could have disposed of the wire? Yes! Yes, I believe there was. Very well. Use the floor plan to point it out. Please show the court away the oh no.
Is it actually the sink?
I'm gonna save. What am I looking at here, Mr. Wright? There's a sink unit in each cell, which is what these semicircle shapes represent. Wait a minute. You mean... I do, Your Honor. If Vulper was looking to dispose of the murder weapon, this wire, simply throwing it out the window wouldn't have hidden it, as the police would have found it outside. So then how? How could he have been able to get rid of the wire for good? By easing it down the plug hole of the sink unit. Indeed, a wire of that length and thickness. You see, Vulper had a way to get rid of it, but why leave it in the open instead? Unless he didn't know anything about it.
I admit I never noticed the thing's possible use as a disposal unit for the wire, but it still doesn't change a single thing. He was the one who used the wire to kill the victim.
But if he had a way to get rid of the weapon, it's possible that he had nothing to do with the wire.
And that, Mr. Wrong, is where you just slipped up. Honestly, I'm surprised and disgusted at how defensive you seem to be of that red-haired freak.
We're not trying to defend him. I'm literally doing my job.
You said it yourself, dude. We're here to find the truth.
I'm not. I'm just exploring all possibilities. We have to be sure, after all.
So you say you didn't know about the wire. Okay. Vulper didn't know about the wire.
Oh no. I feel an explosion coming up.
Renwick, bring out the DNA results!
Oh boy. You mean these? DNA results, you say? You had the wire examined thoroughly, and that included searching for traces of DNA. There's the true traces of DNA both found on the other side of the wire, meaning that whoever's DNA this is, they gripped it with both hands for the use of garroting the victim.
And the results are...
Need you ask? They are a perfect match for Vex Vulper. Alright, guilty. Get him out of here.
Guilty, get out. Get out!
Even if we believe he was innocent, we can't fight that. He's in a prison cell. Who would have put his fingerprints on it, or whatever it is, his DNA on it? Then it would seem that Mr. Vulper was the perpetrator of this crime.
Which is what I have been trying to say all this time!
I'm gonna be honest. There's gotta be a purpose we're playing this trial, because this trial doesn't feel necessary yet.
It doesn't.
Vulper's case certainly isn't in his favor right now. It still baffles me as to why he just left the murder weapon in the open like that, when I just proved that he had a way to dispose of it all this time. Maybe he doesn't think of it?
Say, Renwick, I got a question for you.
What is it?
From what I understand, the initial interrogation of Vulper didn't go well.
Can we not testify about this?
Didn't you say that you gave him another interrogation yesterday?
Of course. Oh, I get it. You want me to testify about the interrogation, right?
Unless Mr. Wrong has a problem with that. Judge!
Say anything! No,
I didn't
of
say
course,
anything!
the floor is yours, detective!
Tell us how the freak second interrogation went. Oh, well, the results. As well as the results it procured.
Sure thing. Hearing for a disappointment, though. It's been hinted that the interrogation didn't go well in the court lobby. Yeah, sure, hinted. What went wrong? Did he manage to uncover anything new? Since the first interrogation brought out no results, we tried again with more officers. We all kicked his ass to the curb. After more crazy gibberish, she eventually said something. The killer is no one. See, an absolute waste of time and manpower. Once again, we had to resort to addressing the evidence. Had to be Vulper. We have no other leads. I can't say he's wrong. The killer is no one.
What?
All we could get out of him was just a phrase of cryptic nonsense. I think it's just wasting our time. Surely it looks that way. You might be getting a cross-examination, Mr. Wright. How many officers were there? Around 6, not including me. It's an attempt to ramp up the pressure in the hope that he would confess. Also security reasons, so that he couldn't make a run for it. 2 were guarding the door inside and out, but running wasn't on Vulper's mind. Yet another way of stressing us all out. You're referring to what he was actually said during the interrogation, correct? Yes. The killer is no one? What sort of answer is that? Sort of answer a crook like Vulper would come with. But sadly, it's the only damn thing he's ever said that makes any coherent sense. And it still makes no sense. The killer is no one. I wonder if it means something? Actually, I think I'm giving him too much credit. That's all he had to say for himself. The only thing of any worth, Your Honor. Much more useful than...
So, I'm gonna...
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
So, what I was gonna say is either the killer is some guy named No One,
Yeah.
or there is no killer.
Oh no, what have I started? Sure sounds like it was. Doctor?
Stupid noise. What are you writing?
Mr. Wright, do you have any idea why he's not listening? I know! It's Detective Smith's clever way of saying that I'm wasting my time pressing this.
It's because the statement isn't worth pressing. And he refuses to dignify Mr. Wrong's press with an answer.
It doesn't sound like a very important statement to be focusing on, I suppose. Continue with your testimony, Detective. And what does the evidence say? Purity wire, the position of the body, the lack of regard for covering it all up? Are you sure we aren't missing out any other people? The only other people involved are Robert Snow, Perry Docks, and Vex Vulper. Detective Snow discovered the body at the beginning of his prison guardship at Perry Docks. And evidence-wise, Vulper is the only one who could have done it. Were there any witnesses at all? What about the other prisoners, for instance? None, you see. Block A has no other prison. What? What?
Why are there only 2 in there?
Why ever not? Vulper and Mapledorn were the only inmates of Block A. Not too long ago, the chief arranged mass transfer of prisoners to others. That cannot be a coincidence. I remember there were no other prisoners around when I investigated yesterday. I thought it was just for investigation purposes. But why would the chief of police move all prisoners from Block A except for those 2? I know all the details, but apparently because they were a threat to the other inmates. A threat? They're locked away in cells! Hey, don't shoot the messenger! If you got a problem with it, take it up with the chief. But why didn't the chief just simply move Mapledorn and Vulper into solitary confinement? Surely it must have been a lot less hassle than moving all the other prisoners out into another block. Another good question. So due to the chief of police's decision, as for all other prisoners, nobody was around to witness the murder? Right, meaning the only person, and only person alone, who could have committed this murder.
You see? It could have only been him.
Well, now, I certainly don't find the situation surprising in the slightest. With the evidence presented to this court, as well as the testimonies of Detective Smith, Mr. Vulper is in a very favorable light right now.
When was he ever in a favorable light?
Indeed. Mr. Wright, are there any more witnesses we need to hear from before we get too hasty? This note did say he was going to testify about discovering the body. I got my client, Robert Snow, to take the stand, Your Honor. Your client? For the Docks murder, Your Honor. He also discovered the body of Cedric Maplethorne, which is why I'd like him to testify. Oh, I see. This testimony would certainly be invaluable to us in that regard. Bring him in at once. What's up, mate? Name and occupation, please. Robert Snow, homicide. What, no witty pun name this time? You're a suspect of one of these murders, Detective? Long story, Your Honor. Tomorrow's witness will explain everything. Very well. Now, I've been told that you discovered the victim's body. Would you mind testifying about the moment you stumbled upon the scene? Not at all. This testimony will most likely be how I heard it yesterday. Discovering the body. I was one of the officers on duty at the time of Me and the officer Paradox were just passing by when we saw Maplethorpe dead in the cell. After noticing the body's positioning, as well as the wire, the conclusion was that Vulper did it. This happened about half an hour after the approximated time of death of the murder. I see. So you and the other victim were together that night? Yeah, we were having sex. I mean, we were just doing the patrols. It's an around-the-clock thing. I can only imagine how scary it must be patrolling a prison so late at night. Yeah, well, nerves of steel are in the job description. Nerves of steel, indeed! Mr. Wright, you may begin the cross-examination. Nerves of steel? The prisoners were moved! Alright, now we're about to hear the crime scene when the body was first discovered. Will there be anything new to add to this trial? I still like how there's just like a red bead. It looks like a red button in Brisbane's eye. So you patrol the prison in pairs? Yeah, super ultra important security protocol stuff. We were assigned to Block A, where the cells of those two happen to be. But wait a minute, I thought that there was a mass transfer of prisoners from Block A. Why patrol an empty prison block? Someone had to keep an eye on those two troublemakers. Troublemakers? They're not kids with water guns. Sorry, I hadn't heard about the prison transfer. Anywho...
Brother!
What did you see? Alright, the body for one. You'd be surprised at how many prisoners pretend to be dead and make a break for it. So we entered carefully. That was when we saw the red mark about Cedric's neck. Our attention was then drawn to the piece of wire wrapped around one of the bars.
Me too, bro.
There are quite a few things I want to know about this peculiar statement. What did I ask about? So what was Vulper doing this whole time? What any sane person would be doing at 2 in the morning? Oh, wait. In any case, Vulper was asleep. It was not a care in the world. It's alright. Is this statement of any use to you?
Yes?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to take a minute to add this to his testimony. Detective, will you run out your testimony with this information? I will indeed. Oh, fuck. I'm taking thoughts. Probably not. Very well. It does my detective. The body's position. How was the victim's body positioned? Positioned? Did really not show you the photo? Maybe one was thumbs against the bars, with his back to Vulper's next door. That's right, does it statement of any use to you? Yes, Your Honor. I would like thumbs against the bars. How did you find the wire? After finding the body, our eyes were drawn to the bars. The wire was wrapped around one of the bars above Maplethorne's head. Oh. Oh. That's right. What does it say? Yes, Your Honor. I would like Detective Smith to have this through his testimony. How did you notice the blood? When we entered the cell to check the body, we noticed the wire. Looking at it closer, we saw the blood. Come on, make it with the program! Probably not an important statement after all then. Okay, so it's not wire. Any ideas as to why he was standing so close to Vulper's cell? None whatsoever! My guess is that he was leaning against the bars when Vulper strangled him from behind. Doesn't sound like the most plausible scenario. Doesn't have no eyewitnesses during the actual time of the incident, we can't say for sure. Looking at the evidence, this is what we came up with. Faced with the evidence does indeed speak for itself. Are you sure he was asleep and not just faking it? That's what I thought at first. So we woke him up and it was clear he really was asleep. Huh. Okay, so it's that second, so it's the body. Wait, I just pressed it again. Oh fuck. Here we go, we're getting beforehand. So it was the body's position that's off. The question is why? Why is this off? Do I just present the body photo or the map? I feel like do I just present the map? What do I present? Objection! Nothing. Objection! What? This is gaslighting. Are you just
objecting with everything?
You say everything as if that isn't two things. Oh.
Paradox.
Since Paradox was killed, Snow's the only other person who found Vulper's body.
I forgot that was his name. I need to find
out what Snow remembers about the condition of the scene. Look at my Magatama. I don't know.
Look at my Magatama.
According to the autopsy report, I assume. Duh. We didn't know at the time, obviously. Looks like Doc still doesn't know, saying as he was killed too. Oh, there's just nothing. Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Snow. No problem, but it's incomplete. Since the rest of my testimony bleeds through into Doc's murder, the officer who arrested me should be able to explain everything.
What a great spending of time.
No, thank you anyways. You may step down now.
Is Mr. Wrong, let's go other witnesses. I say we hear from the man the moment himself.
No.
Agreed. I want Mr. Vulper to really explain himself. No! I don't wanna! Testimonies and evidence all point to him. Did he really do it? I don't wanna! I don't wanna see Vulper's face. Court is back on session. Mr. Brisbane, would you...
Vex Vulper, get your sorry stuff up here now!
I don't want to see him. He's ugly. Why? He's fugly. He's ugly as hell.
God, bro.
We all know your name.
We all know your name and how much of a scumbag you are.
Dang.
So just get on with...
You do? But I even introduced myself, my boy!
What the...
My name is Titus Grump! Oh no, he's doing the freak crump thing again. I'm a millionaire of sorts, and therefore don't require what you would classify as a job! This is the third time he said this!
I don't...
Mr. Brisbane, what is he doing?
I don't think I want to know.
Mr. Vulper, we know it's you! Stop playing around and take this seriously! Can't remind you that your very life is on the line? Well, why did he just say it was me you wanted?
Right, you listen to me closely.
Brisbane, my old friend! It's been too long! Wait, no, friend? That can't be right. I would suggest friendliness or something to that effect. What's the term I'm looking for? Oh, yes. Cycloptic monovisual pirate captain person! Oh boy, this is gonna be one hell of a ride. Silence! If we could get back to the murder now. Ah, my favorite subject! Murder she wrote. Apart from me, of course. You're in suspicion for the murder of Cedric Maplethorne. In fact, in face of the overwhelming evidence against you, how do you plead? No, what? He actually pleads not guilty?
This guy's crazy. He's crazy.
You deny the charges? Yes. Well, in that case, you'd have no trouble in testifying about what happened, would you? No. He's turned meek all of a sudden. Maybe the weight of the whole situation has sunk in. Or maybe he's just messing with us again. So difficult to tell. Yes, I'll testify. There you go. You may begin.
And if you so much as breathe suspiciously...
Damn it, Brisbane! So I took your eye out! Get over it, man! You got your stupid enigmium back, didn't you? Stop whining! It was a good shot, though, wasn't it? Testimony now! Yes, before Brisbane develops an aneurysm, or the shot for that matter! This is the peakest of writing I've ever seen.
This is peak FANACEATTORNEY.
This is what happened! Last time I saw Cedric, he was alive. I was asleep as always, only to be woken up by Snow and some other guy. I saw Cedric lying dead on his bed. On his bed? You had the nerve to blame me! Then they took me away for the interrogation! Defend them to a crime I didn't even commit!
About that.
So you're saying that your view of the crime scene was different to what we have been told? Hope it isn't just another waste of our time, Mr. Vulper. Did I remind you you're on the very thin ice as it is? Oh, please, I'm the embodiment of seriousness. Seriousness. I very much doubt that, but a cross-examination is required nonetheless. Mr. Wright, are you prepared to begin? I guess so, Your Honor. Close to being prepared as I'll ever be.
Oh my god.
And when was the last time you saw Maplethorne? Oh my god.
Before I went to sleep.
It's lights out at 11 p.m., so we both went to sleep roughly at the same time. No ordinary end to a boxed end of a joyous day in the life of me. But... did they say why they woke you up? Oh yes, they pretty much read my rights before I even really regained consciousness. As being handcuffed, I happened to glance over at Cedric's cell.
What?
Do I just... it can't be this easy.
Objection!
It is.
It was that easy. Fantastic.
Vex Vulper. Phoenix... Phoenixwright! Huh? Oh, sorry, I thought this was the part of the day where we shout out names for no reason. Why do I get the feeling that he's being deadly serious, too? Anyway, I have a problem with your testimony. You're really saying that you saw the Maplethorne lying dead on his bed? Yeah, he was. And that's impossible. Impossible? Impossible as in not possible, or the polar opposite of... What's
Welcome
the
to kindergarten.
difference?
Welcome to kindergarten,
Yeah,
my man.
As you can see from this photograph of the body, Maplethorne's body was slumped against the bars that separated the two cells. He was not in bed when he was killed. So where did this notion that he was lying in bed come from? He was lying on his bed when I woke up, I swear! Are you saying Mr. Snow? Are you saying my favorite? You're saying that my second favorite detective moved the body? Okay, buddy.
No.
Mr. Vulper, perjury is a serious offense. What?
I knew you were lying all along.
Um,
Now I'm gonna figure what Snow and Doc started. Declare your guilt now and put an end to this time-wasting travesty of a trial.
You know what would be a real good plot twist? Is that, like, later down the line we figure out he's actually not lying at all?
That would be so...
No! Everyone listen to me now! That Smith guy's talking crap! That wasn't how it happened! I think the detective is lying about his testimony? Fucking idiots! Mr. Wright, what do you think we should do? Vulper seems adamant about saying they saw the crime scene differently to everyone else. Is he telling the truth? There's only one way to find out. I say we hear him out, Your Honor. If he claims to be telling the truth that the crime was in a different condition, we can only find out through further testimony.
Are you out of your mind? Am I the only one in this room with a brain?
Quite the contrary, but you're the one in the room who isn't using their brain.
What did you say?
Throughout this trial so far, you haven't put any thought into anything. You're not interested in finding the truth. You just want to get Vulper guilty as quickly as possible. As I've stated many times already, I'm not defending Vulper as per the conditions of this case. Being a mass murderer, why are you smiling? Being a mass murderer, I admit that he's the most likely perpetrator of this crime. But unless we examine the case thoroughly, how will we know for sure? We're here today to find out what happened in the prison that night, not to blindly prosecute. Or persecute. Okay, am I crazy, or is he never this sort of... Is he
Yeah,
never...
yeah.
He's never this straight up. He looks like a proper prosecutor, what the fuck? Your mentor, Manfred von Karma. It's obviously you've picked up his manner of prosecuting. You don't bother looking for the truth. Instead, you stoop to his level of prosecuting, using intimidation to get your way. And when you don't, you throw tantrums like a spoiled child. Jesus Christ!
Phoenix.
I would like to request further testimony, Your Honor. Yes, of course. I'm waiting for my eardrums to get blown.
Yo!
Mr. Vulper, would you be so kind? At least someone wants to listen to me. You're my new best friend, phoenixwright. Hey, don't get carried away. No friends in the end. Then end to the friends. Testimony. Is Vex okay? Is he okay? Yeah, I can do that. The testimony or testimony as an emoji being tested. What the hell is emoji anyway? Why do they need to be tested so much? Would you gonna call your kills right now and have you set myself, bro? My first one, it is then. This is really losing its patience with Vulper.
The Scottish word for many.
No doubt this will affect the verdict. But what does Vulper mean by things aren't the way he remembers? How does the crime seem different through his eyes? How I remember the crime scene. That Smith guy's talking crap. That's not the way I remember things. Wait, Renwick. Wait, Smith is talking crap. I thought he was talking about Snow the whole time. Arrow-headed detective. Yeah. Wait, well, looking off my Snow, I looked over into the next cell. Yeah, Cedric was dead, but he was lying on his bed. And the wire? What damn wire? There was nothing like that around. I was telling the truth here. I didn't kill anyone. You realize that your testimony directly clashes with those of both detectives? I know who out of you and them I'd sooner believe. Mr. Wright, it's up to you to figure out whether or not Vulper's argument holds water by finding any evidence to support or denounce his claims. Holds water. You folks know what else holds water? A bucket.
What is the writing? Who wrote this?
What? What the fuck?
We're never making it to the end of this episode.
Just fucking like to know that. And hey, it's true. See, I am capable of telling the truth. That's what this testimony is. Just shoot me now. Mr. Wright, the cross-examination. Good luck. Oh man. Anyways, I know what the contradiction is.
Sorry, I was too busy laughing.
What? Your DNA is on it! Oh my god, that was... Oh, I have not laughed that hard in so long. You don't know, cold water? Oh, fuck it! No, you remember things? Yeah, if you'd listen, I'll explain what I'm talking about.
You know what doesn't hold water? My vocal cords.
Why did you look over there? Hello? Because they said they were arresting me for Cedric's murder, perhaps? Obviously, I'd look into himself and I'll see if he was really dead. If he was lying on his bed, how could you tell if he was dead rather than asleep? Such a clean freak, he was undrew. The past few days he was still in prison, he'd always make his bed so tidy and precise. His bed was just that, with him lying on top of it. I admit the sheets of his bed looked slightly disturbed. That still doesn't account for the fact that his body wasn't there when he was killed. So this would mean that it is likely that the victim wasn't asleep that night? Exactly, Your Honor. Keeping open the possibility of the culprit still being the culprit, and seeing as the only way he could strangle the victim would be if he was reached through the bars, Maplethorne would have had to be awake and standing near the bars for that to happen. And just one thing you're forgetting about, Righty Villian, my old chum. What do you mean by that? That wire! I never saw that wire at the time! You never saw it? Or are you trying to deny its existence? Well, come on, Righty Villian, me and Cedric were both murderers! You really think that the police would just give us something as murder-causing as this? They wouldn't leave this sort of thing lying around the cells. I'm telling you, I've never seen this before in my life! That is a good point. Where did the wire come from? Vulper, do you swear on your life that you did not kill the victim, Cedric Maplethorne? My life isn't exactly worth swearing on, is it? I'm a disgrace to living, a murderer at the lowest of low.
Finally, something we can all agree on!
This is all I have left to swear on. Yes, I swear. I don't exactly trust Vulper, but I'm starting to doubt my mistrust of him. Is he telling the truth? That's nonsense! I investigated the crime scene myself, and Vulper says he saw things differently to what I saw, as well as what Detective Smith and Snow say? I think a lot of pressing is required for a testimony this vague and possibly groundbreaking. We pressed everything! I'll do it again, just to be safe. Where? I'd advise against digging your own grave any further, Vulper. I swear that should have worked on the statement of the wire, but okay. A very inappropriate metaphor to use against someone who's most likely going to be executed soon. I think you never used the wire to kill Maplethorne. Yes, I used my bad jokes to kill him instead. Well, figuratively, of course. Or maybe I was talking in my sleep. Well, I have evidence to say otherwise. Oh, I see we're back to our old friend Garrett Wire again. What exactly does he have to do with me? I mean, it has traces of your identity on it. Detective Smith gathered that your DNA was detected on both ends of the wire. This would have suggested that you held it on both sides with your hands. There's one reason I can think of why you did so. For the purpose of strangling the victim. But, how, what the hell is going on here? Order! Mr. Vulper, lying to this court is most unwise. Especially barefaced lies like that when the evidence like this exists. Mr. Wright, what say you? This piece of evidence shows that Vulper held the murder weapon with both hands. There's no way that what he said about not knowing about it is possible. It certainly seems that way to me, seeing as how there is solid proof that Mr. Vulper held the wire from both hands. Vulper, what do you have to say for yourself? What?
I think that sums it all up, Judge.
I believe it does, Mr. Brisbane. I believe it does. So, Mr. Wrong?
Nice Mr. Wrong, nice speech back there. Too bad it was for nothing. You can never trust criminals, ever.
This feels like foreshadowing. Can't I just try? I must not kill anymore 50 times and we can pull this all behind us.
No,
we can't totally not! Mr. Vulper, right now this court has enough evidence against you for me to hand down my verdict. But unfortunately I can't do... What? There's another murder which took place shortly after that point of Mr. Maplethorne, and you are involved, so I hear. Of course, the Doc's murder still needs to be investigated. I don't feel obligated to hand down my verdict as I feel this other murder must first be investigated, seeing as how these two incidents have been considered connected by the police. Usually at this point I would extend this current trial for another day. However, am I right in saying that a different person is the suspect of the murder, Mr. Wright? Has he forgotten already? Yes, Your Honor. My client, Detective Robert Snow, and Vulper was a witness of that incident. I see. Then it's settled. The trial of Robert Snow will take place tomorrow morning, after an investigation into this other murder has been instigated. And don't think you've gone away scot-free for this, Mr. Vulper. If any more evidence is found that points towards you... Yeah, I'll be executed. Don't worry, I'll shake it off. Wow, being able to shake off death. Court is adjourned. What? Okay. April 11, 12:02. April 11, 12:02 p.m. District Court of Minimum 1.
My brain.
That wasn't much
My brain.
Not really. I felt like a fever dream not being defending someone. Well, you are now. Investigation of the murder of fairy dogs has begun. Anyway, what do you make of the Maplethorne incident now the trial's concluded? What we've seen so far, Vulper looks like the culprit at the moment. But the dogs incident has yet to be looked into. We uncovered some more info on what happened to Maplethorne. That's exactly what we're hoping to. So far, so good, Phoenix. Then again, your success today was no small part thanks to me. I hadn't brought up the DNA results, you'd have no leads on who murdered who, right? Technically, it was Brisbane who brought it to our attention, Detective Big Head. So when does the next investigation begin again? It's already begun. The bulk of it should have been handled by now. I'd get over there fast if I were you. Look for interview room 2. That's where it happened. Interview 2. Got it. Almost forgot. You wanted to look into the mass prisoner transfer issue as well, didn't you? That'd be worth heading to the precinct and asking to see the chief of... What? We're gonna meet the chief next episode?
The chief?
He's behind it, so maybe we can shed some light on why he ordered it. Thanks, Detective. I'll keep that in mind.
Stop.
Yeah, goodbye to you too. And that's where we'll end the episode, guys.
Wow!
April...
Thoughts?
I feel... A small part of me wants to believe what Vulper's saying is true, and then the other part of me is like, there's no way Snow... No way fucking Snow...
Hell no.
Like, forged the crime scene. Like, that doesn't make sense at all, so it has to be Vulper.
I mean, it's the only way it would make sense, right?
Yeah, unless someone, like, stole his DNA while he was in prison somehow. I don't really know. So we'll see you guys, probably New Year's. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload
New Year's.
Parts.
Yeah, next episode's probably New Year's. We're probably not going to record on Christmas when this episode comes out.
Yeah, so...
So no episode Sunday, unfortunately.
This is so sad.
Anyways, well, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas.
Now that's not an error, it's a cultural assumption, Nick.